Bake with Nat. Zesty Mince Pies.
It's Christmas! Well, it's almost Christmas, and there's no better way to get into the Christmas spirit than making homemade mince pies. They taste amazing, they look amazing, and you can bung them in the freezer for up to a month, just in case any impromptu guests turn up and they want feeding. La la la, let's do it.
Add 175 grams each of sultanas, raisins and currants into a saucepan. Also add 50 grams of dried cranberries and 100 grams of mixed candied peel. Peel, core and finely dice one medium-sized cooking apple and add it to the saucepan. Chop 50 grams of whole blanched almonds and add these to the saucepan too. Add 125 grams of salted butter or suet if you prefer, plus 225 grams of soft brown sugar, a teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of mixed spice. Finally grate 1 orange and 1 lemon, only using the coloured part of the fruit, not the white bitter part underneath. Then juice the fruit and add it to the saucepan. Pour out 200 millilitres of alcohol and set it aside. I've gone for 100 millilitres of sherry, 50 millilitres of brandy and 50 millilitres of amaretto, but you use what you like. Using a low to medium heat, begin to melt the butter in the saucepan, stirring only occasionally. This may take a while, so don't hurry the process. Once the butter is completely melted, simmer for about 10 minutes. Set the oven to 200 degrees Celsius. For homemade pastry, you'll need 175 grams of plain flour, 75 grams of cold cubed unsalted butter, 25 grams of icing sugar, and the finely grated rind of 1 orange. Using your fingertips, rub the mixture together until it becomes like fine breadcrumbs, or use a food processor. Beat 1 large egg and add it to the mix. Bring it all together into a soft dough. Then wrap in cling film.
Then to make this super easy to roll out, I'm just going to chill it in the fridge for about 10 minutes.
This recipe will make enough mincemeat to fill 16 mince pies and will give you enough left over to fill 3 medium-sized jars. The jars and lids will need to be sterilised, so begin by washing them in hot soapy water. Wash off the bubbles in hot running water. Then stand them upside down on a baking sheet or roasting tray. Pop them into an oven set at 180 for 15 minutes. When the mincemeat has simmered for 10 minutes, stir in your alcohol.
While the mincemeat is still hot, I'm going to put it into the hot sterilised jars, so be careful here. You don't want to get any mixture on the rim because this can introduce bacteria, and you want to leave about 1/4 inch at the top. Then when you've sealed it tightly, screwed it as tight as you can, you want to put them in a cool, dry place for up to 6 months. When you want to make small mince pies, you just get some more pastry or ready bought pastry. I won't tell anyone. And you can just whack it straight in. And then you can have mince pies all year round.
Set aside about a bowl's worth of the mincemeat for our 16 mince pies. Then using a measuring jug, pour the rest of the mincemeat into your prepared sterilised jars and secure the lids firmly. Remove the dough from the fridge and split it into 2. Lightly dust a work surface with icing sugar or plain flour and roll out your dough until it's about a couple of millimetres thick. I'm going to use a round cookie cutter and a star-shaped cookie cutter. The star-shaped cookie cutter is slightly smaller than the round-shaped one. Press out 16 round circles for the bottoms, then pop them into a bun tin. Add 1 spoon's worth of mincemeat to each pie, making sure you get some of the yummy liquid. Just be careful not to overfill them. Now roll out the second half of the pastry, again to about 1 to 2 millimetres thick, and press out 16 stars. Cover the mincemeat with the stars, pressing down at the points to make sure they're well connected. Beat 1 egg and then brush this on top of the mince pies to give it a nice gloss. If you don't have a brush, just use a spoon.
Okay, now these are going to go into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for about 12 to 15 minutes.
Leave the pies to cool in the bun tin for a few minutes, then transfer to a wire rack. When you're ready to serve your pies, just dust them with a little icing sugar to make them irresistible. These will now keep for up to 3 days. To freeze the pies after baking, put them in individual freezer bags in an airtight container when they've completely cooled. Store these for up to 1 month. Then when you want to eat them, simply thaw at room temperature for 2 to 3 hours and bake them in an oven at 160 degrees C for 8 to 10 minutes and dust with icing sugar to serve.
And that's it! And it doesn't get better than that. Christmas on a plate. They look amazing and they smell just like Christmas. Amazing. Merry Christmas and great baking!
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.
Imagine the smell of your house, all cinnamon. So fa la la la, let's do it! Yeah, happy Christmas!